So this project is going to be making a fuel filler assembly to fit back into the car. So from what I can tell, I have absolutely nothing retained of the stock system. So just the stock tank down on the bottom, and then it's just an open cavity from here down to there with really no mounting assembly. So to help get me started, I went on to Amazon, found me a cheap offset fuel filler assembly. So it comes with a little flange assembly at the top with the seal at the top, which is nice. First challenge is, even once I put it down into this hole and get it close, I need something to affix this end up in the right position up here. And there's not really much to mount to. I've got a bit of a flap here on the inside of the door, a little bit of a ledge down here, and then I guess I could screw right into the back side of that, which goes into the wall of the trunk. But none of those options are really fantastic, so I'm going to do some fiddling around here and see if I can make up a bracket of some kind that'll work for this. So looking up underneath the car, that's the gas tank inlet right there, which is weird because it seems like it dumps straight into the frame rail, which is not too far away. And then from there, I either got to decide whether I'm going to go under the frame rail or if I come a little bit closer back towards where my light's there. The frame rail kicks up a little bit and I can probably be more flat. And then inside the fender well, that's the fuel door up there. So it's a pretty complex shape here. I'm trying to maneuver this poor little fuel filler neck down through. But I think the biggest challenge is going to be figuring out how to get from that right there down and past the frame in some reasonable place. And when I think of the tire being right there, I'm thinking I want to put a steel line as far back as I can and then just have like a rubber coupler to hook it onto the tank to save myself from potentially kicking rocks off the tire into this assembly and have a leak at some point. So the first real metalworking step I'm going to start with is by removing this kind of overflow assembly that they had on there. I don't really know what stock vehicle this was from, but I have no need for this portion of it, so I'm going to grind it off both spot weld there, here, and then I think I'm going to shorten this neck down so that this will sit just inside the door, and then once this is shortened down, this will fit a lot better going down towards my tank. Now I'm going to measure the offset that I need here to make it so that this elbow goes down in the kind of the middle of the cavity there. So we'll go do some measurements and then we'll do some bandsaw work to shorten it down. Alright, so what I did is I took a couple swings at shortening this. So first I cut it about 3 inches, didn't quite get the transition to be where I wanted it to, where it comes in the fuel filler door, then has to go straight down. So I cut off a little bit more, but the problem was I ran out of straight, so you can see this piece is a bit tapered. So what I had to do is I've been kind of notching and necking this to kind of get it ready to fit. I put it up underneath and was able to get it there, and I made some lineup marks for myself. Don't know if you can see them, but I did some circumferential marks and then I did a couple dashes across. And so my plan is I'll clean up all the paint off of this, tack it together on the bottom, kind of start tapping it together gently on the top to close it all up, and seal weld it. And this will be the part that will be at the very entrance way of the door there. I will end up cutting off the bottom of here to kind of transition the next pieces, but I thought I'd start with this, and then I'm going to make a plate that will mount the end right inside the fuel filler door up against either the inner fender well or the back of where the fuel door mounts. So let's see what we can figure out. So what I did is I formed up a bracket out of some 14 gauge steel, so fairly heavy plate or sheet metal. And what I'm gonna do is this side, I put a little 1-inch lip on it, bent it at 90 degrees, and that's gonna rivet in just behind the fuel filler door there. And then put a notch in it for the fuel neck assembly. And then I will use this to punch a couple more rivets into this guy to hold him all together and stable. All right, so this is where we got. So my piece of 12 gauge that I had fabbed up kind of is just vice gripped up against the back side of the fuel filler door mount, and I've got the shortened down neck assembly put in place here. I think it'll work out pretty well. I think I might have to adjust the angle of the neck just a little bit because I think I'm banging off the back of the just off the back side of the assembly. So this is how it looks up inside. So the assembly for the plate to mount it looks like it works out pretty good, but I gotta turn down and go 90 degrees down a little bit quicker than what I currently have now. So I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of form the neck down a little bit more. And then next problem is how I get from, I got to figure out how to join these two pieces. And unfortunately I don't have a lot of the 2-inch tubing remaining with bends in it. So I got to kind of do a 90 coming from here and around. I'm thinking I might do a 90 to go this direction and then maybe try to figure out a 45 to go up there. So a 90 to come straight kind of outside the car, and then a 45 up to meet up to the fuel filler door there. All right, so it seems like what has been hours of screwing around, I think I got it figured out. So got the 290s coming off of the fuel tank with a 2 1/4 to 2-inch reducer. So it's just tacked up now, it comes over here. Then up inside, I've got the door tacked up to that piece there. And then the last piece of the puzzle, I have an elbow that will go off of this guy up onto the top one. So essentially, rubber will be between there, and then be all hard steel coming all the way across back to the tank. I'm going to take it out, buzz it all up, then I'll bring it down here with some hose clamps and get her all tacked up. I guess of note up here, this does go from a 2-inch rubber to an 1 3/4 pipe, so I've got a bit of an adapter I'm going to be putting on that to make it all work. So I got the fuel filler assembly in place now. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to attach it in. So I'm going to try to do drilling some holes in there, but the problem was I can't get a drill in here because the body came up again. So my new plan is to try it like this. I've got this big long extension to let me keep the drill body back, and I'm going to try to put a couple holes in here so I can get a couple 1/4-inch bolts to hold it in place. We're going to bring out the big guns this time. I got my man helping me here. All right. Got it?
Yeah, almost. Okay, I got to the spot.
Oh, wait, just hang on a second. I got my wrench on it.
Ah, it fell off. I guess it wasn't on tight enough.
Give it a try.
Okay. I'll do it when it gets hard.
Okay. I can get my wrench on the back. Okay, ready. Other way, other way, other way. Yeah, there you go. Good work, buddy.
Good.
Nope, keep going. It's not tight. Yeah, no.
Okay. Okay, coming off. Take it.
Is it tight?
Yep. I think it's tight.
See how it still wiggles a little bit? Tighten them a little bit more. Other way, other way. Here, let me try. Perfect, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Should we put the gas cap on now and close the door?
Yeah.
All
There's
right.
a kind of a like rock in there, Dad. There's a rock in there.
To get the rock out? Here, you put the gas cap on. I'll get a, let me take the rock out.
It's on.
Did it turn?
Yep.
There we go.
Well, we got some
Look at
dust.
that.
Well, we got some dust off.
Yeah.
It might come off when you drive.
Hmm. How's that? Pretty good?
Yeah, Dad. This one has got like bump in it. And then Dad.
All right, so this is what we ended up with. So we got the nice coupler going to the pipe coming across. It's a reducing coupler from 2 1/4 to 2 inch. Doesn't touch the frame anywhere. It comes around my mount up there. It closes nicely at the door, and I've got just one rubber piece here, but it's okay because it's blocked by kind of the rear fender well there. So no problems. If I get rocks up on anything, it'll probably be up on the steel part that's right there. This is how it looks up inside the top. So a couple bolts, 1/4 inch bolts in there to mount this top plate, and a couple 1/4 inch bolts to mount the top plate in there. Gas cap fits on perfect. Fuel door closes, no problems.